p.m. Eastern, we're going to be back to do one of my three boxing shows of the week. So, for example, I put it down below in the description box. I am streaming consistently Tuesday 6 p.m., Thursday 6 p.m. Oh, here we are. We're starting. Tuesday 6 p.m., Thursday 6 p.m., and Fridays 6 p.m. And then on the weekends, for example, this weekend, I'm going to be streaming during the main event of Ryan Garcia and Javier Fortuna, who I think Javier Fortuna is going to win. And Ryan Garcia's father has been lurking around on the channel talking shit. No bullshit. Because I'm picking Javier Fortuna. So he's like, it's just you just being media. You don't know Ryan. No shit, I don't know him. No disrespect to you, Pops. But no shit. And I'm allowed to have my opinion. But anyway, we're here for the Jake Paul versus Hasim Rahman first press conference in New York. It's going to be taking place, the fight, August the 6th on Showtime pay-per-view. Me personally, you've heard Jake Paul say it himself. If you didn't watch on ESPN earlier today, he did a interview. And basically, his team has told him they don't want him fighting Hasim Rahman. And Jake Paul has admitted that Hasim Rahman has got the better of him in the past. So, the time is now. The undercard is going to feature Amanda Serrano versus Brenda Carabajal. And then you have Brandon Lee taking on the Ashton Sylvie. Anyway, let's start. We're going to talk after the press conference. Take a time out. Like the video, subscribe. I am TstreeT Controversy with Fight View 360.
The world's most famous arena. Welcome to the Mecca of boxing. Welcome to Madison Square Garden. This venue has hosted the greatest boxing matches in the history of the sport. We were just here a couple of months ago for a historic event headlined by the great Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor, and we're back on August 6th. For an event that, dare I say, this venue has never quite seen before. It is co-produced by Showtime Pay-Per-View and Most Valuable Promotions. It is distributed by Showtime Pay-Per-View as well. It is a very interesting and...
Yes, this is live right now. It's live.
A lot of people a year ago could have ever predicted. Not here, not between these two gentlemen. It's a double main event show headlined first by Jake Paul, the problem child, 5-0 as a pro boxer, coming off a massive knockout victory over Tyron Woodley back in December, going up against Hasim Rahman Jr., 12-1 as a pro, over 100 amateur bouts as well. The son of the former heavyweight champion of the world, the great Hasim Rahman. And of course, also on the card, like I said, double main event. You've got the return of one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters on the planet, regardless of gender, the one and only, the pride of Puerto Rico, the pride of New York, Amanda Serrano returning as well to defend her featherweight titles against Brenda Carabajal. You got those four great fighters on the bill as well. You've got a 140-pound prospect, blazing superstar named Brandon Lee on the card as well. You've got Ashton H2O Silv, the latest addition to the MVP roster on the card, fighting at MSG. Something for everyone. August 6th. The official sportsbook partner of the event is FanDuel. Everyone is here. Showtime pay-per-view, MVP. I am hyped. He is hyped. He is hyped. Before we get to the fighters, before we get to your questions, everyone watching all over the world, this great event at this great venue, home, by the way, of the 2023 NBA champion New York Knicks. I don't know if you guys heard the news, but that is happening. I want to welcome the Executive Vice President of MSG Marquee Events and Operations, Mr. Joel Fisher, to the podium. Mr. Fisher.
Thanks, Ariel. And I like what you say about the Knicks. We here at the Garden are incredibly honored. We're the Mecca of boxing, and we are incredibly honored to host this fight between Jake Paul and Hasim Rahman Jr. As you know, we worked closely with Jake and his entire team recently. Jake was an incredibly great partner. He's really into the business of boxing, was a real supporter of women's boxing, but we also know that Jake is also really into boxing himself. and he's really passionate about it, and I'm sure he's in tremendous shape. We want to welcome Hasim here. I'd like to personally thank you for stepping up quickly and stepping down, and what I mean by that, in weight. So we appreciate everything you're doing for that, and as Ariel mentioned, you're following in your father's footsteps, who fought here and won in 2004. The promotion we had a number of months ago with Katie and Amanda was tremendous. It was historic. It was one of the greatest nights of boxing that we've
Look
ever.
at how much Rahman has been weighing in at. I believe the fight's supposed to take place at 190. How is he going to get down to 190? Jeez. Look at the weights.
People, boxers, just people that I've ever worked with.
By the way, is it true that this is not his picture?
We know that she'll be ready. Brenda's not here, but we'll look forward to welcoming her for her first fight here. Before I leave, I really want to thank MVP Promotions, specifically Nikisa, and his whole team. He's been just an incredible partner. Like Jake, you guys have been great to work with. It's been an interesting road to get here, as we all know, but it's been great, and we
200, my bad.
for August 6th. I want to thank Steven Espinoza and Showtime.
But still, Rahman has weighed in
Partners throughout the years, and
as high as 270 just last year.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my team, Sal Federico
And the lowest he's been
and Larry Torres for
is 211.
So this will be a tremendous night, a great event,
I wonder if they're going to put a rehydration clause on him.
and I would say don't miss it. Be here on August 6th. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I want to see the face-off and how they look against each other, like size-wise.
If I can add to that, right now, MSG.com tickets are on sale. I hear they are moving quite fast, Mr. Paul, Mr. Rahman, so that is good news. Tickets on sale right now, MSG.
I'm going to pull up some Rahman highlights right now on the small screen.
Next up to the podium, I'd like to welcome Mr. Steven Espinoza, the president of Showtime Sports.
Thanks, Ariel. The first half of 2022 has been a banner 6 months for Showtime, filled with knockouts, upsets, unforgettable moments, legacy-making fights. We crowned an undisputed super welterweight champion. We had Errol Spence Jr. moving one step closer to being undisputed himself. We've had a variety of ultra-competitive fights, high-stakes action, and star-making performances week after week. And the best is yet to come in the second half of the year. Stay tuned. But as we turn the page to August 6th, we're offering a different kind of event, but maybe not all that different. Herbert Maori Slade. Herbert Slade. Anybody recognize that name? How about Jem Mace? Anyone? Herbert Slade and Jem Mace were the two boxers who participated
He
in
seems
the
so
very
slow.
first professional boxing match here at Madison Square Garden. February 2nd, 1883. That's right, 1883. First professional boxing match here at the Garden. That's almost 140 years ago. If you're curious, the result was a 3-round no decision, so it's sort of anticlimactic. It would be a huge understatement to say that there's a lot of history here at the Garden. Since that very first professional boxing event, there have been 1,748 more events. That means a total of nearly 1,750 events. But in all those shows, more than 1,700 boxing events, there's never been an event quite like this one.
Oh,
And
my
that's
God.
because there's never been a professional boxer like Jake Paul. There's never been a boxer who could headline a pay-per-view in Madison Square Garden after just 5 fights. Vasily Lomachenko did something similar. He headlined the Garden in his 6th pro fight at 5-1. But Jake's doing it 1 fight sooner, headlining a pay-per-view event, and doing it without the benefit of 400 amateur fights and 2 gold medals. What Jake is doing is remarkable. But more importantly, you can no longer call it a hobby or a fad or a stunt. This is a full-time profession for Jake. A full-time commitment, boxing is now his calling card, his number one pursuit. He's 5-0 with 4 knockouts. He's facing a fighter in Hasim Rahman Jr., who's 12-1 with 6 KOs. Rahman Jr., as Ariel mentioned, had about 100 amateur fights. He's been trained by many of the greats. He's worked with Emmanuel Stewart, Calvin Ford, and now Yoel Judah, who steered his son Zab to incredible heights in the sport. Most fighters with 5 fights don't face boxers with that level of experience. But Jake isn't your typical boxer. You know, the fact that he's headlining a pay-per-view, his 3rd pay-per-view with Showtime pay-per-view, is a testament to his popularity and drawing power. Now, Jake could have taken an easier touch, but that's not Jake. After Tommy Fury pulled out of the fight, Jake and his team went looking for an even bigger challenge, and they found it. They found a tougher challenge that probably he should be taking. An opponent who's bigger than Jake, more experienced as an amateur, more experienced as a pro, a real challenge. Why is that? Why take a fight that almost everyone around you is telling you not to? Well, there's one reason. Jake Paul's on a mission to prove himself as a credible professional boxer. And what he's doing is unprecedented. But in a different way, it's really not unprecedented. Strip away the celebrity status, Jake's success as a content creator, and what he is doing, what he's striving for, is no different than any other professional boxer. It's no different than what Hasim Rahman Jr. is striving for credibility, for respect, striving to improve skills, doing all the hard work behind the scenes to put it all on the line in one night in front of a massive crowd here at the Garden. Jake's coming off one of the most spectacular knockouts in recent memory, December over Tyron Woodley. The clip of that knockout is one of the most viewed, if not the most viewed, in the history of Showtime sports. Jake clearly moves the needle like no one else, and we at Showtime are proud to be in business with him, and he is clearly bringing the sport to a new audience. The same can be said of Amanda Serrano, who inspires multitudes of young girls every time she fights. Amanda's fight in the Garden with Katie Taylor was the first women's fight in history to headline at MSG, and it delivered with a huge crowd and a fantastic fight. We're also honored to have Serrano back on Showtime. We're proud of our history in women's boxing and proud to have Amanda back for the 5th time. The Showtime telecast starts at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. It also includes separate bouts with 2 of the sport's most exciting and promising young boxers, Brandon Lee, 25-0, 22 knockouts, Ashton Silva, 7-0 with 7 knockouts. All of us at Showtime Sports are thrilled to be back here at the Garden for the first time in nearly 10 years. It's been way overdue. We thank Joel Fisher and all the Madison Square Garden staff for having the vision to take this event, sign on to us in what will be a very exciting evening. Before we get to live action, of course, there will be All Access, bringing you inside the ropes, behind the scenes. That'll premiere July 30th, and we'll see you on August 6th. Thank you.
Why do I have a feeling that Rahman's going to get beat up or take a dive?
Up here, you know these people.
This is him getting knocked out.
Hasim Rahman Jr. and Hasim Rahman Sr. Amanda, if I could just start with you. I remember before the April fight, it was a whole big deal. She's fighting at MSG, moving from Hulu to the big arena. Now this is old hat for you. Now you're like Mrs. MSG. Now it's kind of gotten like, you know, just another day at the park for you, right? Fighting at the big arena.
Now it's going to be hard to get me out of it. No, I am truly honored to have such a fast turnaround. You know, the fight with Katie Taylor was a huge event, not just for females, but in boxing in general. And I'm super happy to be back at MSG with my manager, Jake Paul, alongside me. Now we get to show the world that we're fighters, and he takes off his promoter turtleneck and puts on his boxing boots to show that, you know, he's a fighter as well.
And just curious, you're now going back down to featherweight. Why was this? I keep hearing this was a really
What's going on,
important
guys?
fight for you, that you really wanted to go back down for this next fight. Why so important for you to defend these titles?
Well, these are my babies. I worked super hard for these belts, you know. I went up to 135 my last 2 fights. The organizations gave me the opportunity to have non-title fights to get this fight with Katie Taylor. I'm not a legitimate 135-pounder. I'm a featherweight. and I beaten a pound for pound girl for my belts, for 2 of my belts. So these I worked hard for, and I'm a legitimate featherweight, and that's why I need to defend these titles. And then after that, it's, you know, on to the next one, to the other champions.
Yeah, Serrano team didn't want the rematch with Katie Taylor yet.
As Mr. Fisher said,
Okay, let's look at some more highlights of Rahman Jr.
now to see your son.
This is another replay of him getting knocked out or stopped.
Like Jake Paul. What do you make of all of this?
I'm excited like everybody else. I don't just know how I'm gonna feel when Jake's 100 billion fans hate my son. After the fight, they're gonna hate him.
How do you feel about the fact that it seems as though Jake has chosen your son as his next opponent? That perhaps, as I saw in an interview with your son in Fight Hype recently, that he feels as though Jake is looking past him or thinks that he's the easy matchup for him.
Yeah, obviously we find it disrespectful because Jake is a real fighter. He's a real fighter, and we respect that. But I just think that he's moving too quick. I think he picked the wrong guy at the wrong time. So just
moving too quick for your slow ass son who's not going to be able to hit me. Yeah, you're right. I am moving too quick, fast as shit.
See, there you go, Ric Flair with the WWE stuff again. But I mean, when we get in the ring, then we get in the ring. So,
you're not in the ring, sir. Your son's in the ring. He can't fight for you. You can't fight for him.
But I am talking, and excuse me for talking while you're interrupting. Why you being rude at the
You're
press
saying
conference?
we in the ring. We're not getting in.
there with
You're
you.
not in the ring. It's me versus your son. And that's what he doesn't understand either. He thinks he's you. He thinks he's you. And that's his biggest mistake. He's not you. And August 6th, people are going to see that. I'm ending that whole ass legacy that your whole ass family got. It's over with. August 6th.
Well, if you want to really talk about legacy and family, then after he beat you, I got a little brother that's a cruiserweight that you can rematch my son where he can beat you for the second time. And I got a little brother, Muslim Cajun, undefeated, can beat your brother.
I already beat his ass in sparring too, and he knows that too. We got the footage.
So you can just beat all of my family.
They be with this footage stuff, man. They be putting out what they want to put out. Did you put out the footage when you turned around and ran away from me in the ring? Why you ain't put that out? You turned your back and ran like a I ain't gonna cuss, but you turned your back
like
and
a
ran.
bitch.
So why you ain't put that out? You put out what you want to put out. Content creator. We're gonna see you on August 6th, man.
If I can ask you, Hasim Jr., yesterday Jake said on my show that there was some doubt as to whether or not you would show up. Can you clear that whole story up? Were you
Look, man,
threatening not to show up? Were you asking for more?
Bismillah. First and foremost, I want to thank Allah for this opportunity and just to be here on this platform, just to be at this stage. This is such a huge opportunity. I never once, ever once, even second guessed or even doubted the outcome of this fight. I did no negotiation through the internet, and I'm not going to. But whatever they sent me, and they said, look, this is take it or leave it. Either you take it or you leave it, or there ain't no fight. And I took it, and that's that. We here right now. So all this BS about going back and forth about everybody know, well, we know that because we fight, we've been in this game a long time. But all that stuff back and forth about the money or whatever. I'm gonna be the lowest paid opponent, but I'm the biggest. I'm the biggest. I'm the one that's giving you any credibility. None of your other opponents gave you any credibility. So why shouldn't I get more than them? But like I said, I'm not here to negotiate through the media. I'm not here to do none of that. I'm here to end this facade that he's calling a career. So we're gonna see. We will, and we're gonna see on August 6th when Jake Paul fall. We definitely gonna see that.
Jake, I've heard them say now a couple times, sparring isn't fighting. That sparring match that you guys had about 2 years ago isn't exactly what's to come, and that you're perhaps putting a little too much stock into that. What's your response?
Well, I don't know why they're so worried. The fact that they keep on saying that's a telltale sign. Sparring isn't fighting, because I mean, you're probably a little bit nervous about what happened, but obviously,
What happened? What happened? What happened?
Obviously,
What
it's
happened?
different.
Nothing.
Under the
you be
lights-
bringing up the sparring. You
under
the
the
one
light-
posted the sparring.
Under
Oh, you don't like getting interrupted, do you?
under the lights, 10-ounce gloves, of course, is different. That's why I do this sport. I don't do this sport to spar. I do this shit to fight. And when he gets under the lights,
And
Madison
you
Square
ain't
Garden,
fought nobody.
in front of 20,000
You ain't fought
people.
nobody. Nobody. Everybody you fought have been their debut.
Who have you fought?
Everybody you fought been their debut.
Who have you fought?
I just
Tyrone
fought somebody-
Woodley,
I just
UFC
fought
champion.
somebody 20 and
Ben
0.
Askren.
What are you talking
champion.
about?
Nate Robinson.
Champions in MMA.
NBA,
Champions in
all-star
MMA. NBA champion. No boxers.
And that's why you're
No
next on the
boxers.
list. You're
No
next
boxers.
on the list. You're
You ain't
next
fought
on the
no-
list.
I know.
You're next on the list.
I know. And
That's
it's going to
why
be your
I'm
first
fighting you.
loss. And
No
it's going to be your
shit.
first loss.
No shit. That's
Don't
why
turn
I'm
your
fighting
back and
you.
run like you did when we sparred. Don't do that. And I will be using both hands.
You'll
Trust
see.
me.
You'll
and
see.
I will be using both hands.
You'll see. I got something for you.
I only use one hand when I sparred him.
Oh, man.
I only use one hand.
I
He
would
can't
just
even spar
love-
nobody with one hand.
I would just love to put out this
He
footage.
can't even spar nobody with one hand. He's not even at that level. I boxed this man with one hand behind my back, and I boxed this man with one hand, and I promise you, he turned his back. Look, he turned his back and ran from me. That's what's going on in his whole camp. That's all they do. Look, Rock. Don't do this. Don't switch southpaw. Don't sit here and say you don't, because when I spar you, you do the same thing. It's always a handicap, and that's what I was trying to tell him. It's a handicap in here. Don't get too, you know what I'm saying, too confident. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you. I've been trying to help him since I came here, but he thinks he's, I don't know what he thinks is going on, but he definitely barking up the wrong tree. I'm gonna fuck you up.
All right, this is tremendous theater. I want to give you guys a chance to ask some questions as well. So let's open it up and let's keep this rolling here. As you can see, no love lost between...
Rahman was stopped in 5 in his last fight. He weighed in at 224. Apparently, the weight is going to be 200 pounds for this fight. Wondering if they're going to put a rehydration clause on Rahman Jr. But we'll talk after the press conference.
Applause.
Oh, by the way, that's Fight View 360.
What is it about your son that you think gives Jake Paul the confidence that
I think that's Donnell. I think we're there.
to take on your son?
Oh, that's not Donnell. My bad. He's going to the fight, though.
Flat out, I'm gonna give you an honest answer. I don't know if my son gonna like it, but I'm just gonna tell the truth because that's what I do. My son has really underperformed and underprepared for pretty much all of his fights. So, but he will be ready for this one.
What?
Do you agree with that, Hasim Jr.?
I think that the potential that's
What
inside
the
me
fuck?
has not been reached yet. So yeah, I agree. I think that I could definitely have performed better in all my fights. So on August 6th, we're gonna come fully prepared.
Dad, why'd you say that at the press conference, Dad?
What are you talking about? He just told you gonna tell the truth. This ain't nothing he ain't said to me before. What are you talking about?
It's bring your kid to work day.
Yeah, all right. Bring your gloves and your boots on August 6th, because I might knock you out of both of them.
Up next.
Jake, good afternoon. In your previous fights, you've shown the world that you take boxing very seriously. It's your full-time job right now. But this is the first time you're fighting a professional boxer who also takes it seriously. Does your training camp, does your preparation differ at all now?
No, nothing changes. We know he's going to come out southpaw, so, I mean, fighting a southpaw for the first time. But other than that, nothing really changes. You know, I fight professional boxers in the gym, spar 'em all the time, 2-3 times a week for the past 3 years. Guys way better than him. Steve Cunningham, 3-time world champion, guys like that caliber. So nothing really changes. We're prepared for this, and
So when we
We'll
spar,
see
why I couldn't turn southpaw when we spar? Why your corner and your trainers and you were so adamant about
you were
not going
you turned southpaw in that
I did
too.
not.
We had the footage.
I did not. Go show it. Show me some.
We
Show me
had the
turning
footage.
southpaw. Show me
We had
turning
the
southpaw,
footage.
please.
We have the footage, but I'm
And
gonna let.
please, when
I'm,
you
I'm
do
gonna
show
let
the
the
footage,
fans,
when you
I'm
show
gonna-
the
I'm gonna let
footage,
the fans
when
see
you
August
show the
6th.
footage,
I'm gonna let
post
the
the
fans
footage
see
of
the
you
footage for
turning
the first time
around.
August 6th.
Show the footage of you turning around. Soon as you get the back
You got your ass beat and you know it.
How? You in here jumping on top of turnbuckles? Who? There's no winner or losing in sparring. There's no win or losing in sparring. So what are you talking about? I was there to work with you, to actually help you get confidence to go against a guy that was 5'5" with no fights. So what are you talking about? And I still was handicapped, boxing you with one hand. Go watch the tape.
Then why,
I didn't even use my right hand.
Then why were you
I didn't even use my right hand.
Then why were you
and when
so
I
mad
backed
after?
you in the corner.
Then why were you so mad
corner,
after?
When I backed you in the corner.
Why were you so mad
Why
after
you turn
then?
around and run?
Why were
you
you
turn
so
around
mad
and run?
after?
Who runs in a boxing ring? You
Why
ran
were
like
you
we was
so
in a
mad
track.
after?
He's a runner. He's a track star. What's
Why-
going
why were
on?
you so
Why are you
mad?
running in a boxing
Yeah, I want the tape.
Have you learned that yet? You learned that you can't run yet?
You gonna see?
Have you learned that? Have you learned that
gonna
much
see.
yet? That you can't be running in the ring? You learned that yet? It only been 18 months.
Keith Heidick, BoxingScene.com. My question's for Hasim Jr. Hasim, how much do you expect it to be a challenge to fight at the lowest weight of your career? And how much weight will you have to lose in training camp before the fight to get down to 200 pounds?
Very good question.
We already close, man. We already close. I'm not worried about the weight. I was just in camp for a fight, and then I came and I got right back in the gym. I came to New York. I was already in the gym when they called for the fight, so I'm not worried about the weight. The weight not a factor. I fought at 200 pounds for years in the amateurs. I haven't fought there as a pro yet, but I'm looking forward to bringing back them amateur days and bringing back even some things that I was doing in the amateurs that I haven't done in the pros yet. So losing some weight, right? It's almost like I'm fighting an amateur. So losing the weight is exciting for me, and it's gonna open up doors for me to even do even more in the boxing ring.
Just curious, I don't know if you caught that. You said like fighting an amateur. Do you take exception with that comment?
No, he's gonna get beat up by a singer, a musician, a seashell collector, an amateur.
Disney boy.
I'm a
you
Disney
is not
boy.
about to
I'm a
beat me up.
YouTuber.
Who have you ever beat up?
I'm all of these
Who
things.
have you ever beat up? You ain't beat up nobody. You ain't beat up nobody.
You sound stupid.
No, you sound stupid. Who have you beat up?
5-0.
You ain't beat
Knocked
up
out everyone I
nobody.
fought. Knocked
You
out
ain't
everyone I
beat up
fought.
nobody.
Knocked out everyone I
You
fought.
ain't beat up nobody. Anybody can get the 5-0 fighting nobody. Come on, man. You ain't fought nobody that boxed before. You fought everybody in their debut and then rematch somebody. Stop it, bruh. Stop
Perfect.
it,
So that's why we running it. That's why you're the next opponent. No
Yeah,
shit. You're
I
a
know,
speed bump.
I know.
Another name on the list.
I know.
A pawn.
Yeah, okay. You say that now. I'm about to give you your first loss. Stupid.
Kern.
Karan Bhatia with Ask the Experts. Question for Hasim Rahman Jr. Hasim, in your last fight, right over here, you were unsuccessful. It was stopped. Did you feel like it was a premature stoppage in the last fight? And how important is it to now have a great performance after your first career loss?
Credit to Kenzie Morrison. He won the fight. The referee stopped it fair. But every article that covered the fight afterwards stated about it being stopped earlier, being premature. The commentators were saying that it was stopped earlier, premature. We've seen wars in the ring that went well beyond what happened in that fight. And when I go back and watch the fight, you can see in the fourth round, I took a punch similar to the punch I took in the fifth round and then proceeded to win the rest of the round. So who knows what would have happened if they would have let the fight keep going. But that's behind me now. That fight doesn't matter going into this fight. I learned from that. So now I got to teach this little kid a lesson.
And a question for Jake. You were originally supposed to fight Tommy Fury. We know what happened there. I know it was important for you to fight a real boxer, but now you're fighting an opponent who's bigger than Tommy Fury, who has more professional experience. Is this a tougher fight than Tommy Fury?
Yeah, 100%. This is what I do. You know, I take hard challenges and challenge myself more and more with each fight, increase the level of opposition, and give the fans what they want. People say fight a real boxer. Here we go. This guy's bigger than me. He has more experience. There's no reason that I should win this, but I'm proving to the world and proving to the kids out there that if you set your mind to something and you truly believe in yourself and you're dedicated and you're mentally low-key have to be insane,
And you stack
then
the
you
deck.
will,
Don't forget you
then
stack
you will
the deck.
win.
Don't
Then
forget
will
you got to
win.
stack deck.
And that's what I'm proving
You
to
try to
people.
bring me
That's
down
what
to
I'm proving to the
cruiserweight
next
and then
generation.
put a rehydration clause in the contract.
People
Don't
will
forget
see.
about none of that.
You already
Don't
making-
forget.
Here we go.
Just take it or leave it.
Why you already making
Don't forget that's
excuses for
take it or leave
yourself?
it. That was take
Why
it or
you
leave
already
it.
making excuses for
I'm
yourself?
not making no excuses. I'm telling the
sounds
truth.
like you're making
Because you leaving it
excuses.
out. Because you leaving
All
it
I
out.
hear
Let the
is
people know.
excuses as to why you
Let the
lost,
people know.
excuses as
You always
to
talk
the
about, oh,
weight,
he's bigger
all
than
of
me.
these things, bro.
oh, he's bigger than me. Oh, he's a heavyweight and all this and all that. That's cut because we come in the cruiserweight. Thank you. Thank you. So don't yeah. That's not. You cannot do that. That's out. That's out.
So will you not?
stacking the deck.
You'll be 215 on the night of the fight.
You don't know how much.
And I'll
I'm
be
away.
195.
You don't know how much I'm away on the night of the fight.
Then why are there weight classes in boxing? Dumb fuck. Shut up. Whoever the fuck you are. Dumb shit. Shut up.
But you keep calling me a heavyweight.
Sit the fuck down.
But you keep calling me a heavyweight.
Recording me like a fan.
Why you
Recording
keep calling
me like
me a
a
heavyweight?
fan?
Why you keep calling me a heavyweight? Talking about how I'm a heavyweight if you're not fighting me a heavyweight. If
What
you
weight-
was really that, you would have
What
fought
weight
me a
class?
heavyweight.
What weight
If you
class?
was really that, you would have fought me a heavyweight.
You sound so stupid.
If you was really that, you would have fought me a heavyweight. It wouldn't have been no, oh, let's bring him down. You seen I just weighed 224 in April. It wouldn't have been no, oh, bring him down to 200 and make sure he can't go up over 210. Come on, man. Stop playing with me. You put a 10-pound rehydration clause in the contract? Stop playing. Bruh, shut your ass up. Shut up.
Let me
Sit in this
just
thing.
chime in just one quick
Sit in this
second.
thing.
Just wanted to ask
And
Amanda.
he ain't fought nobody.
Wanted to ask Amanda a quick question because when the fight was announced, Jake had mentioned that his business partner Nikisa said, "Are you sure you want to do this 12-1?" I'm curious what your thought was when you found out that Jake was accepting a fight against Hasim Rahman Jr.
Well, at first I was like, I mean, it's tough. Boxing isn't a game that you play. But then I thought and I said, Jake Paul is doing it for a reason. Jake Paul, he's, we're so much alike in the game of boxing, opposite outside of it. But I know he has all the heart, courage to go out there. He's gotten better. I've seen him in the gym, seen him training. He's training like if he's fighting for a world title. So I have all the faith in his work ethics, and he has that hammer. So every hammer can neutralize.
How the hell did Rahman Jr. get all the way up to 269 last year? But look at the weight.
Tyron Woodley fight, we had a bet with the tattoo, I love for the winner. And then if Tommy Fury would have showed up, you would have had a bet, $1 million with Tyson Fury. Both you two are confident. Can we get a bet on the line for this upcoming fight?
Jake don't stand. Jake don't honor his bets. I'm not betting this, man. I don't even gamble, but he don't honor his bets. I'm Muslim.
You're right, because I haven't lost them. No shit.
What are you talking about?
I keep on
winning. You just
winning.
bet on a man and lost $1 million. What you talking about?
The bet didn't go through. Eddie
Why?
Hearn pulled out.
Why?
Eddie Hearn pulled out.
Oh, Eddie pulled out?
You want to bet
Oh.
500K. You posted on your Instagram.
I did not say I wanted to bet.
You did. You posted
You
on your
can't
Instagram.
read. You can't read.
You
I
said
did
you
not
want to
say I
bet
wanted to
500K
bet.
and you posted a picture
I
of your
never
bank
said
account.
I wanted to bet. You can't read.
You posted a picture of your promoter's
Did I
bank
read?
account.
Did
and
I
said,
say
"Let's
I wanted to bet?
500K."
I never said I wanted to bet. Don't
Yes,
put
you
words
did.
in my
It's
mouth.
on your Instagram.
See,
We
this
have
is
a
Jake. This is
screenshot.
Jake Paul show right
I think
here.
you're stupid as
This
fuck.
is Jake Paul show right here. He want to twist things up.
Hey,
Go to my
so
Instagram.
you don't wanna make a bet?
And go
Let's
look.
make a bet. Let's
I don't-
make it right
I
now
don't
then.
Bet. Bet what? I don't bet. I'm not about to bet no money. I'm not about to bet no money.
Broke
I don't
ass.
bet money.
All right, let's bet this.
I don't bet
When
money.
When I beat you,
I don't bet
when
money.
I beat you, you have to change
Jake,
your have to
Jake,
change your
Jake,
Instagram name to I let my
Jake,
dad down.
Jake, I'm not.
We already have the
entertaining you.
handle.
I'm not entertaining you.
We
Jake.
already have the handle. When
Focus
I
on
beat
August
you,
6th. This
you
ain't
have
about
to
no bet.
change
This ain't about no bet.
your
This about you.
Instagram handle.
And what
to
you gonna
I let
change
my
yours
dad
to?
down.
And what you gonna change yours to?
You pick. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, right. I don't got time to be playing with you, bruh. We not playing on.
You got all the
August
time
6th.
in the world. What were you doing before this,
We
bro?
got-
You're
we
a
got-
broke bitch
I
doing
was
nothing.
training. Broke,
Shit,
what are you
this is gonna
talking
be the
about,
last,
broke?
the last
Jake,
fight
Jake,
you
you
ever
scam
take.
people, bro.
The
What are you
last fight
talking
you
about?
ever take,
If
bro.
I was scamming people, I was scamming
You
people, I
sound
wouldn't be
so
broke.
stupid.
If I was scamming people, I wouldn't be broke.
Begging me for more money.
What are you talking about? I didn't ask you for nothing.
Begging me
I
for
didn't
more
ask
money.
you for nothing. I didn't ask you for more money. I never asked for more money. So what are you talking about? I never asked for more money. I took the lowest amount at the highest level. I'm the highest level opponent you face, but I'm getting the lowest amount out of anybody you
no
ever
one
fought.
knows who the fuck you were. 2 days
Right,
ago, you had
right.
5,000 Instagram
Why you buy
followers.
my followers? Why you buy me followers then?
You have 5,000
So you can
Instagram
seem
followers
credible?
2 days
Why you
ago.
why you buy
My
why you
mom
buy
has
me
more followers
then?
than you, bro.
Boxing
no
don't
one
have
knows who
nothing
you
to do
were.
with followers.
You're not worth shit.
Boxing don't
This
have
will
nothing
be
to
the
do with
last time
followers.
anyone ever hears of
Because you
you.
got more followers?
Boxing don't have nothing to do with followers.
All right.
This will
I'll
be
leave
the
it at
last
that.
time anyone ever hears of you. It has to do with
You
how much you
crazy.
get paid. That's why
You
I'm
crazy.
the highest paid boxer.
You crazy.
'Cause I got the
Rockman
most
gonna
followers out of
be
any
Rockman's
boxer.
gonna be in boxing
The
forever.
fuck?
You wild.
If you-
Rockman's gonna be in boxing
if you read
forever.
their Instagram, I can make that bet happen. If you read their Instagram.
All right.
Let's make the bet happen.
Is it-
You want to bet
is it gonna
500K?
happen? This is the last chance.
Because
Is it
y'all
gonna
don't seem
happen?
confident.
Jake, you about to get knocked out, bro.
Okay, then bet on it.
You about
Then
I
bet
don't
on
bet
it.
money. I told
Then
you I
bet
don't
on
bet
it.
money.
Then bet on it.
I don't bet money.
I said let's bet Instagram names.
I
I'll
don't
change
bet
my
money.
name to whatever you want if you beat me. But you have to change
Jake,
yours to I let my
Jake,
dad down.
You listening to me?
He don't want to make the bet.
Jake.
He's all tough.
Jake.
Look at them big
I'm
old
not-
arms.
I'm not-
Look at
I'm
him.
not feeding into
He's
this
so
BS
big
you
and
doing.
strong. He's gonna knock me out. I haven't fought nobody, but he won't make the fucking bet.
I don't bet money.
Pussy motherfuckers
I
right
don't
here.
bet money. I don't bet money, sir.
August
Sorry.
6th. If you weren't excited for this card going into this,
That's
press
not
conference,
money. That's an
I think-
Instagram name switch.
I'm
and
not,
you won't bet,
I'm not
but you're so
entertaining
confident.
You. I'm not entertaining you and your content, bro. I'm here to whoop your ass. I'm going to fuck you up on August 6th. And that's the bottom line.
Hey, it'd be great if we can get to 100 likes. Help with the YouTube algorithm. Please like the video while you're here.
MVP August 6th, world's most famous arena, the Mecca of boxing. Jake Paul versus Hasim Rahman Jr. If you weren't excited, like I said, I mean, you got to be excited now. And of course, the return of Amanda, the real deal Serrano. Multiple prospects on the card. Again, something for everyone. And if you're in the area, MSG.com, tickets on sale right this second. So go snatch them up. It's going to be quite the scene. It's going to be theater at its finest right here at the world's most famous arena. We're going to square these gentlemen off. And of course, Amanda's going to get her time in the sun as well. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for watching. August 6th, we'll see you at the Mecca.
All right. Hold on. We got a lot to talk about. Let's let the fighters face off first. And hopefully it's not going to be no fisticuffs. Actually, I want fisticuffs. And tell all those motherfuckers to sit down. They're supposed to sit down when there's a face-off. Where's Kelly Swanson when you need her? Sit down! Everybody back up! The cameras are in the back. Move, move! So yeah, well, what did we learn? The fight's going to take place at 200 pounds. It is a 10-pound rehydration clause. There is some sparring footage that they've been talking about that I want them to release. And apparently, from what I'm gathering from it, Hasim Rahman Jr. was getting the best of Jake Paul in sparring, but he's a southpaw fighter that was told not to fight southpaw. Is he southpaw? I don't know. There's some things that went on in the sparring that I would like to hear about. It seems. Let me turn that down. Actually, no. Let me turn it up in case they talk during the face-off. They're playing some music, but I want to see if they're going to talk some shit to each other. This is what they're playing. By the way, thanks for watching. Let's go full screen. So it's 200 pounds, and it's a rehydration clause of 10 pounds. The lowest Hasim Rahman Jr. has ever weighed in was 211. His last fight was at 224. We're going to show you a clip of that. That was in April of this year. He weighed in at 224. April 30th, 29th, excuse me. The highest he's been has been 269. That was back in February of 2021. I'm guessing he put on all that shit, all that weight during COVID. You know, like all of us, including myself. But Jake Paul's team, including his brother, did not want him to take this fight. But Jake Paul wants to fight an actual boxer. And he said on ESPN earlier today that fighting guys like NBA players and all that shit, celebrity shit is done. He wants to be a 175-pound champion in the next 2 years. But if you really think about it, this is fully the official start of his professional boxing career. He's actually fighting a professional boxer with over 100 amateur fights. He's 12-1 with 6 KOs. He's listed at 6'3". And once again, for the most part, he's weighed in throughout his career around 230 or so. So overall, he's a big dude. Amanda Serrano's going to be taking on a Brenda Carabajal. You're going to have Brandon Lee taking on Aston Sylvie, if I'm pronouncing his name correct. And yeah.
No one in the history of boxing has done what I've done at this age.
Oh, wait, that music might get me copyrighted. So let's All right, so let's do some quick predictions real quick. And since you're here, it would be great if you can take your time out and like the video while we're here. But let's do some quick predictions really quickly. Now, let me show you this clip here of Hasim Rahman Jr. getting stopped this April. Excuse me, April the 30th, he fought. April the 29th, he fought a James Mackenzie Morrison, who is 19-0-2. This was in Vegas. And according to the cards, Rahman Jr. was up 40-36 on all three cards. Here's the guy he got knocked out by 20-0-2 with 18 KOs. Heavyweight, is he ranked anywhere? Anybody ever heard of James Mackenzie Morrison? And overall, looking at Hasim Rahman's resume overall, what do you see? You know, once he stepped up in competition, he got his ass stopped. You see what I'm saying? A 5-18, 4-2-2, 1-9, 1-8, 5-3, 3-19, 26-21, 4-15. Where's that man's family? He needs to hang him up. You know, does anyone care about him? And here is a clip of when he was stopped this April. I can't believe I'm not subscribed to Batman. Tripping. I thought I was. This must be a new channel. Well, anyway, let's show you this clip of him getting stopped. And it's a kind of a bizarre stoppage. And it's the type of stoppage that make me think that Jake Paul might win. Because from what I was looking at, I was skimming through this fight earlier. And what I was looking at is he's slow and easy to hit. And you know, Jake Paul's got that dynamite overhand right. That shit will put you down. Like, and put you to sleep. You know, and for him to get stopped and buzzed, let me let this clip play through. Let this clip play through. So this was his last fight where he weighed in at 224 pounds. By the way, I'm going to be back today at 6 p.m. Eastern. So watch this. Now, you see that right there, but look, what is he doing right here? You see this? What is he doing right here? Is he waiting for the punch? Like, is it like, what, this is like, listen, I ain't saying nothing. And I don't like to call fixes on fight, but that shit looks suspect. That shit don't look suspect to you? Or choreographed? Oh, no, dog. Listen, I'm gonna let you, the people, decide. So this is his last fight. I'm gonna let you, the people, decide. Like, it looks like he was waiting to get hit. And was like, oh shit, I missed the choreography. Let me go, and fall on my face. Or maybe he just was buzzed from this first punch right here, like this one, boom. Like, you think he was like, oh shit, like kind of like out on his feet maybe? But then he didn't get hit, and then he just fought like, like, are we not supposed to talk about that? Like, are we not supposed to talk about that? Like, we got, now this right here, he did eat a mean ass uppercut. You think he was frozen? You think he turned to stone like that? Because that first punch did. Let's go back one more time and look at it. Rahman Sr. had the tape on his glove come off in the last round. Let's go look at this. I mean, I'm just saying. Shit look a little sus. Oh no, bros. And this is not TstreeT conspiracy. Didn't look like a die. He did, yeah. It looked like he maybe was a delayed reaction. Because he ate two big punches. One more time before we go back and look at the face-off again. He ate two big punches. He was waiting for the ref. Because look, now you see, and look what his right hand is going to come from. In fact, let's go slow motion. Let's go slow motion. Like, he going to eat that doom. One more time for the people. Okay, that kind of grazed him a little bit. Boom, okay. You see that going down. I don't know. Okay, so now look at this shit right here. So what the hell's going on? Like, is he waiting for another punch or is he just frozen? And that misses. So is he off balance here? And then look how the trajectory, his legs give out on him. Okay, see right there, you can't really fake that right there. You see how his legs like kind of like left under him? Yeah, I think I'm taking away my fix claim. I don't think that's a dive. I think he just was fucked up from that first punch. I think he just was fucked up down there. And let's go to the stoppage. Now, this uppercut was mean. How does saying go? Meaner than two fat chicks fighting over a plate of pork chops and beans. Or pork chops and greens, I think. Something like that. Now, look at this uppercut. Now, he's saying this was an early stoppage. It was the first loss of his career. This was back on April the 29th of this year in Las Vegas. Okay, he got touched up with that jab. Okay, the pawing, and now he's going to yank that joint back. You see, he tried to pull the gloves down a little bit. And he's saying it's an early stoppage. But I don't know, guys. Y'all think Jake Paul going to win? Let's go back and replay. You know, it's clearly something that they see, you know, in Rahman Jr. that like, yo, we can beat him. And also they've been sparring with him. You know, so it's definitely something, you know, that they're seeing there. Here, let's go back and go full screen for the face-off. Okay, well, here we go. Type 1 in the chat if you think Jake Paul's going to win. Type 2 in the chat if you think Hasim Rahman is going to win. I wonder what the price is going to be. It's going to be on pay-per-view. And somebody did say that they feel that they're going to try to sell Spence Crawford through this pay-per-view, which makes sense. Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern, I do a full-fledged boxing show. For example, I'm going to be live today at 6 p.m. It's Tuesday right now, for those who don't know, if you're watching this later on. Tuesday, July the 12th. So I'm going to be live today at 6 p.m. Eastern, talking the news of the week and the weekend, what we know so far. For example, going over Mark Maxwell versus Ray Vargas. I forgot what the topics are. What else happened? It's Ryan Garcia, Javier Fortuna fight week. And then it's something else I forgot. But there's a 10-pound rehydration clause. In his last fight, Rahman Jr. weighed in at 224. He's been as high as 269. That was in 2021. And overall, his average weight seems to be about 225 pounds, 230 or so. It's going to be $49.99. Makes sense. That's what the last two Paul pay-per-views were, right? And also remember, September the 4th, we also have on pay-per-view, PBC on Fox, Andy Ruiz versus Luis Ortiz. Oh, one more time. I didn't go full screen. My bad. But he's saying that he's got the lowest pay of all of the Jake Paul fighters that he's fought, and he's trying to negotiate a bigger payday. And hopefully somebody releases the sparring footage, because it looks like to me there's some things in the sparring footage that Jake Paul doesn't want us to see. But remember, Jake Paul is a salesman. You know, everything is intentional, even, you know, like all the trash talk. It's all intentional. For example, they had already purchased the handle, not purchased, but made the handle of I Let My Dad Down. So he was trying to bet Rahman Jr. that if he lost, he would change his social media platforms handles to I Let My Dad Down, Hasim Rahman Sr., who was also there as well. But, you know, I mean, I'm hyped for the main event. And to be honest, to me, I think this is a better fight than Huey Fury. I mean, not Huey Fury, Tommy Fury, because I think that Tommy Fury is just not that good. That's just me. Yeah, I don't think he's that good. Also, in other news, according to Eddie Hearn, he was on Ariel Helwani's show about a week and a half ago. And basically, Amanda Serrano and her team didn't want the Katie Taylor rematch right now. And that's understandable because if she were to lose, then, so they want to get her win, build her back up, and then revisit it in the future. But there's some rumors going around that Katie Taylor is trying to get a fight with Chris Cyborg. So that's pretty crazy. But yeah, so we're getting Amanda Serrano versus a Brenda Carabajal. And they're trying to build her back up for when she fights, Katie Taylor in an eventual rematch or whoever she's going to find. Having his dad on the stage, daddy, when you say like on the stage was such a bad look. I don't know why. His pop being there with him, and also remember, they're trying to sell this pay-per-view. So, if you're the promoter or putting this thing together, I'm like, see if your dad want to show up, get him on the stage too. But yeah, if I'm being honest, something like, here's the thing. Before I saw this press conference and I started watching some footage, Jake Paul has a chance because we see that Rahman can be dropped and stopped. But here's the thing. He's finally fighting a boxer. Let's pull up his resume real quick, Jake Paul. And I can't believe that they're, have these listed on BoxRec as if they're official fights. But 5-0 with 4 KOs, 25 years old. The first fight, split decision to Tyron Woodley, knocked him out brutally, put him to sleep, and we kind of really haven't seen him since. The fight is taking place at 200 pounds in Madison Square Garden, August the 6th on Showtime pay-per-view. Brandon Lee is going to be on the undercard. Let's see if they listed it on BoxRec. Yeah, Brandon Lee is taking on an Aston Sylvie, if that's how you pronounce his name. And we don't know what the other fight is yet, or the other fights are yet. There's going to be some all-access build-up as well. Rahman's got 6 KOs. He's been stopped once, 31 years old. I don't know, cuz. We're going to see. Let me go back and pull up this one clip from the press conference, though, where they were going back and forth. For those who didn't see it. Listen to this right here. How basically his pop said he really wasn't focused.
To have to take on your son on August 6th.
Flat out, I'm gonna give you the honest answer. I don't know if my son gonna like it, but I'm just gonna tell the truth because that's what I do. My son has really underperformed and underprepared for pretty much all of his fights. So, but he will be ready for this one.
What?
Do you agree with that, Hasim Jr.?
I think that the potential that's
What
inside
the
me
fuck?
has not been reached yet. So yeah, I agree. I think that I could definitely have performed better in all my fights. So on August 6th, we're gonna come fully prepared.
Dad, why'd you say that at the press conference, Dad?
What are you talking about? He just told you gonna tell the truth. This ain't nothing he ain't said to me before. What are you talking about?
It's bring your kid to work day.
Yeah, all right. Bring your gloves and your boots on August 6th, because I might knock you out of both of them.
Up next.
Jake, good afternoon. In your previous fights, you've shown the world that you take boxing very seriously. It's your full-time job right now.
Like that caliber, so nothing really changes. We're prepared for this, and
so when we sparred, why I couldn't turn southpaw when we sparred? Why your corner and your trainers and you were so adamant about
you turned southpaw in that
did
too.
Not.
We had the footage.
I did not. Go show it. Show me some. Show me turning southpaw. Show me turning southpaw, please.
We have the footage, but I'm gonna let.
Please, when you
I'm
do
gonna
show
let
the footage, when you show the
I'm gonna let the fans see
when you
August
show the
6th.
footage,
I'm gonna
post
let
the
the fans
footage
see
of
the
you
footage for the
turning
first time
around.
August 6th.
Show the footage of you turning around. As soon as you get the back,
you got your ass beat and you know it.
How? You in here jumping on top of turnbuckles? Who? There's no winner or loser in Spawn. There's no winner or loser in Spawn. So what are you talking about? I was there to work with you, to actually help you get confidence to go against a guy that was 5'5" with no fights.
So what are you talking about? And I still was handicapped, boxing you with one hand. Go watch the tape.
Then why,
I didn't even use my right hand.
Then why were you
I didn't even use my right hand.
Then why were you
when
so
I
mad
backed you in the
after?
corner.
Then why were you so mad after?
When I backed you in the corner.
Why were you so mad
Why
after
you turn
then?
around and run?
Why were
you
you
turn
so
around
mad
and run?
after?
Who runs in a boxing ring? You
Why
ran
were
like we
you
was
so
in a
mad
track.
after?
He's a runner. He's a track star. What's
Why-
going
why were
on?
you so
Why are you
mad?
running in a boxing? Do you know how to box? Have you learned that yet? You learned that you can't run yet?
You gonna see.
Have you learned that? Have you learned that much
see.
yet? That you can't be running in the ring? You learned that yet? It only been 18 months.
Keith Heidick.
Yeah, let's talk about that rehydration clause, and also Keith Idix is about to talk about it right now. Yeah, let's dive a little bit into this. You know, that 10-pound rehydration clause is significant. The fight is taking place at 210 pounds. Wait, excuse me. Sorry, my bad. The fight is taking place at 200 pounds. In his last fight, Rahman Jr. has weighed in at 224. The lowest he's been in his career has been 211 pounds. So that 10-pound rehydration clause is something significant. You know, let's listen in. Oh, and also, thanks for watching and liking the video. If you haven't liked the video, please drop one. It feels like we're almost out of that shadow ban that we've been in for damn near a year, because YouTube is starting to promote my videos again, you know.
BoxingScene.com. My question's for Hasim Jr. Hasim, how much do you expect it to be a challenge to fight at the lowest weight of your career? And how much weight will you have to lose in training camp before the fight to get down to 200 pounds?
We already close, man. We already close. I'm not worried about the weight. I was just in camp for a fight, and then I came and I got right back in the gym. I came to New York. I was already in the gym when they called for the fight, so I'm not worried about the weight. The weight not a factor. I fought at 200 pounds for years in the amateurs. I haven't fought there as a pro yet, but I'm looking forward to bringing back them amateur days and bringing back even some things that I was doing in the amateurs that I haven't done in the pros yet. So losing some weight, right, it's almost like I'm fighting an amateur. So losing the weight is exciting for me, and it's gonna open up doors for me to even do even more in the boxing ring.
Just curious, I don't know if you caught that. Said like fighting an amateur. Do you take exception with that comment?
No, he's gonna get beat up by a singer, a musician, a seashell collector, an amateur.
Disney boy.
I'm a
you
Disney
is not
boy.
About to beat
I'm a
me up.
YouTuber.
Who have you ever beat up?
I'm all of these
Who
things.
have you ever beat up? You ain't beat up nobody. You ain't beat up nobody.
You sound stupid.
No, you sound stupid. Who have you beat up?
5-0.
You ain't beat up nobody. You ain't beat up nobody.
Knocked out everyone I
You
fought.
ain't beat up nobody. Anybody can get the 5-0 fighting nobody's. Come on, man. You ain't fought nobody that boxed before. You fought everybody in their debut and then rematch somebody. Stop it, bruh. Stop
Perfect.
it,
So that's why we running it. That's why you're the next opponent. No
Yeah,
shit. You're
I
a
know.
speed bump.
I know.
Another name on the list.
I know.
A pawn.
Yeah, okay. You say that now. I'm about to give you your first loss. Stupid.
Kern.
Kern Batia with Ask the Experts. Question for Hasim Rahman Jr. Hasim, in your last fight, right over here, you were unsuccessful. It was stopped. Did you feel like it was a premature stoppage in the last fight? And how important is it to now have a great performance after your first career loss?
Credit to Kenzie Morrison. He won the fight. The referee stopped it fair. But every article that covered the fight afterwards stated about it being stopped earlier, being premature. The commentators were saying that it was stopped earlier, premature. We've seen wars in the ring that went well beyond what happened in that fight. And when I go back and watch the fight, you can see in the fourth round, I took a punch similar to the punch I took in the fifth round and then proceeded to win the rest of the round. So who knows what would have happened if they would have let the fight keep going. But that's behind me now. That fight doesn't matter going into this fight. I learned from that. So now I got to teach this little kid a lesson.
And a question for Jake. You were originally supposed to fight Tommy Fury. We know what happened there. I know it was important for you to fight a real boxer, but now you're fighting an opponent who's bigger than Tommy Fury, who has more professional experience. Is this a tougher fight than Tommy Fury?
Yeah, 100%. This is what I do. You know, I take hard challenges and challenge myself more and more with each fight, increase the level of opposition, and give the fans what they want. People say fight a real boxer. Here we go. This guy's bigger than me. He has more experience. There's no reason that I should win this, but I'm proving to the world and proving to the kids out there that if you set your mind to something and you truly believe in yourself and you're dedicated and you're mentally low-key have to be insane,
And you stack
then
the
you
deck.
will,
Don't forget you
then
stack
you
the
will
deck.
win.
Don't
Then
forget you
will
got to
win.
stack deck.
And that's what I'm proving
You
to
try to
people.
bring me
That's
down
what
to
I'm proving to the
cruiserweight
next
and
generation.
then put a rehydration clause in the contract.
People
Don't
will
forget
see.
about none of that.
You already
Don't
making
forget none of that.
excuses.
It's just take it or leave it.
Why you already
Don't
making
forget that's
excuses
take
for
it or leave
yourself?
it. That was take
Why
it or
you
leave
already
it.
making excuses for
I'm
yourself?
not making no excuses. I'm telling the
sounds
truth.
like you're making
Because you leaving
excuses.
it out. Because you leaving
All
it
I
out.
hear
Let
is
the people know.
excuses as to why you
Let the
lost,
people know.
excuses as
You always
to
talk
the
about, oh,
weight,
he's bigger
all
than
of
me.
these things, bro.
Oh, he's bigger than me. Oh, he's a heavyweight and all this and all that. That's cut because we come in the cruiserweight. Thank you. Thank you. So don't yeah. That's not. You cannot do that. That's out. That's out.
So
you
will you not?
stacking the deck.
You'll be 215 on the night of the fight.
You don't know how
and
much.
I'll
I'm
be
away.
195.
You don't know how much I'm away on the night of the fight.
So is it not a rematch clause? Because are they saying like, no, that was off the table, we had to take that out? So so here's what I'm gathering from it. There isn't a rematch clause, not a rematch clause, a rehydration clause. Because he's saying they tried to bring me down to cruiserweight, and then they talked about the 10 pounds. I don't know, it's confusing there, but I do want to hear some more about that. Anyone in the chat got some details? Now, remember, the highest Rahman Jr. has weighed, this is the last time I'm going to say it, I said it multiple times. The highest he's weighed is 269 in his career. That was last February, he was 269, February 2021. His last fight this April 29th, 2022, he weighed in at 224. And if you look at his average weight here, you'll see basically he weighs, if you were to, average it out, here, let me pull it up. He weighs about, like if he was to average all this out, he weighs about 225 pounds or so. That's his weight. And I'm guessing we're learning what type of fighter Jake Paul is going to be. I mean, I'm not really knocking it. Some people do. Floyd Mayweather did it. Canelo's done it. Manny Pacquiao did it. To where Jake Paul his team, they will put a rehydration clause on you to, like try to, as Rahman Jr. said, try to stack the deck. But with that being said, August the 6th on Showtime pay-per-view, I am going to be here streaming during the main event. We're going to be covering the card. My colleague, Donnell, is going to be trying to go to the card and cover it for Fight View 360. And I guess I'm going to get up out of here and I'm going to be back in 4 hours, 6 p.m. Eastern, to talk about basically all boxing news. Main topic is going to be a wrap-up of Mark Magsayo versus Ray Vargas. It's Ryan Garcia versus Javier Fortuna fight week, and I forgot what the other fights we're going to be talking about. We do have Dani Nietes tomorrow morning taking on Kazuto Ioka. Yes, I'm going to be live this Saturday for Ryan Garcia and Javier Fortuna. But for the week, I'm going to be live Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's my weekly streaming schedule. Unless it's like a press conference or something. As you can see, we stream during the press conferences and talk about the fights. The links to my social media are down below in the description box. Also, I update the boxing schedule down below in the description box. And while you're here, thanks for watching. Take your time out and download the WBC app powered by the Vive Network for exclusive content, fight news, my videos of other content creators as well. And here are the links. Boom. Put everything in the chat. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later on today in about 4 hours or so if you want to just talk about some regular boxing. Please subscribe,